Hello and welcome to another part of this chapter probability. So far we have considered two-dimensional discrete distribution, but in this part we shall discuss about two-dimensional continuous distribution. So suppose we have two random variables x and y, and in two dimension we consider the order pair of these random variables. Now in discrete distribution we have a number of discrete spectrums in two-dimensional plane, but in continuous distribution the spectrums are continuous. Actually in this case the spectrums are nothing but range. So let us assume that the spectrums of x are from A to B, a continuous range from A to B. Also suppose that the spectrums of y are continuous values from C to D, then the spectrums of this pair of random variables, these are denoted by A to B cross C to D. That means any point in this area is spectrum. As for example, suppose the spectrums of x are from A to B and the spectrums of y are from C to D, then the spectrums of this pair of random variables, these are denoted by the points in this area, in this selected area. So any point in this area is a spectrum of this pair of random variables. Now at any point in this area we have a definite mass. Now in discrete distribution we have some discrete spectrum points where we have some discrete mass, but in continuous distribution we have a continuous layer of mass in this area. Now in one dimensional probability distribution, the continuous distribution means a continuous layer on the line of spectrum, but in this two-dimensional distribution, by means of a continuous layer we mean a surface layer. So suppose this is our plane of spectrum, the x-axis and y-axis. So the spectrums are allocated in this plane. So if we consider mass at every spectrum point, then we shall get a surface, a three-dimensional surface over this plane of spectrum. If the surface is denoted by z equal to fxy, so let this be the equation of the surface over this plane of spectrum, then this fxy is called joint PDF. Now in simple language, in two-dimensional distribution, the spectrums are some area. That means any point in this area is a spectrum, and for this distribution fxy, that denotes joint probability density function. This is nothing but height of the surface z equal to fxy at any point xy, which is the mass at that spectrum point. So in two-dimensional continuous distribution, the masses appears like a surface, and height of the surface at any point from the xy plane is called the mass at that spectrum point x, y. So this is our PDF, and we know that in case of one-dimensional distribution that PDF must satisfy two conditions. So these are the two properties of PDF. The first one is fxy greater or equal to 0. The masses cannot be negative. Now in this case the height of the surface cannot be negative. That means the surface must lie above this xy plane. So fxy must be greater or equal to 0. This is the first condition. And the second condition, we know that in discrete distribution sum of the masses equal to 1. Now in this continuous distribution, the sum of the masses means the entire volume of the surface bounded by the area of the spectrum is equal to 1. Now the spectrums may lie anywhere in the xy plane, so the volume or the surface of fxy must lie anywhere in the xy plane. Therefore if we want to compute the volume of this surface in the entire xy plane, then we have to consider the double integration with respect to x and y in the entire xy plane, that is x from minus to plus infinity and y from minus to plus infinity. So the integration of fxy, actually double integration, is equal to 1 in the entire xy plane. So the sum of the masses, in this case the volume of the masses, must be equal to 1. So these are the two properties of the joint density function for two-dimensional continuous distribution. Next we shall define the distribution function, actually the joint distribution function for two-dimensional continuous distribution. The joint distribution function is denoted by capital Fxy, and by the definition this means probability of this event where x varies from minus infinity to x and y varies from minus infinity to y. Now that means the sum of the masses where x varies from minus infinity to x and y varies from minus infinity to y. Now in continuous distribution, the mass means the volume. So to compute the distribution function at the point x comma y, that means we have to consider the volume of the masses from minus infinity to x and from minus infinity to y for the variables x and y. So that means integration of fxy where x varies from minus infinity to x and y varies from minus infinity to y. So this is the definition of joint distribution function for continuous distribution. So if we know the joint PDF, that means fxy is known, then we can easily compute the distribution function by integrating the joint PDF with respect to x and y from minus infinity to x and minus infinity to y respectively. Now if we differentiate this equation partially with respect to x first and then up with respect to y, or suppose we are differentiating this equation with respect to y first and then with respect to x, then we shall find that if we differentiate this del square fxy, del x del y or del y del x, this will be equal to fxy. That means if we know the distribution function, actually joint distribution function, then we can easily find the joint PDF by differentiating fxy partially 2 times with respect to x and y. So we have two equations. In the first equation, if the PDF is known, we can easily find the distribution function by integrating the PDF, and if the distribution function is known, then we can easily find the PDF by differentiating the distribution function. Next we consider one important property that is very helpful to solve some problems. It gives that probability of the event where x varies from a to b and y varies from c to d is equal to the double integration of the PDF fxy where x varies from a to b and y varies from c to d. So this formula is very important to solve problems. Now remember that this is continuous distribution, so less than and less equal to have the same meanings. So it does not matter whether we put less equal to here or less than here. So in continuous distribution, less than and less equal to have the same meanings, and probability of this event can be found directly from the PDF by integrating the PDF with respect to x and y in the given range. Now in the discrete distribution, we have already considered the properties of joint distribution function. Now in the continuous distribution, there is only one slight change, that in discrete distribution fxy is right continuous everywhere. Now in continuous distribution, fxy is everywhere continuous for both the variables x and y. So this is the only change in property, but the remaining properties remain same. So in continuous distribution, remember that fxy is everywhere continuous. Now we shall consider the marginal distribution for continuous two-dimensional distribution. Now suppose these are our random variables x and y, and we have obtained the joint PDF which is small fxy, and also we have found the joint distribution function which is denoted by capital Fxy. Now to find the marginal distribution, that means we have to find the individual distributions of x and y respectively. Those will be called marginal distributions of x and y. So first suppose we find the marginal distribution of the random variable x. That means for the random variable x, we have to find the corresponding PDF, which will be denoted by fxx, and also we shall find the corresponding distribution function, which will be denoted by capital Fxx. Similarly, for the random variable y, we shall find the corresponding PDF, which will be called fyy, and corresponding distribution function, which will be called capital Fyy. Now in the discrete case, we have already discussed about marginal distribution. So if we want to calculate fxx, that means the marginal PDF of the random variable x, that means we have to consider all the possible values of y. So this is nothing but integration of the joint PDF with respect to y from minus infinity to plus infinity. So this is the definition, or this is the formula to obtain the marginal PDF of x from the joint PDF. Similarly, if we want to calculate fyy, the marginal PDF with respect to random variable y, this is nothing but integration of the joint PDF with respect to x from minus infinity to plus infinity. So these are the formulae to find the marginal PDFs of x and y. So if the joint PDF is given, we can easily find the marginal PDF of x and y. Next, how to find the marginal distribution functions of x and y. Now if the marginal PDFs are found, then this fxx, this is nothing but one dimensional PDF. So if we integrate this with respect to y, then we shall get a function of x only. So this is nothing but a one dimensional PDF. So if we want to find the distribution function of this PDF, then we have to integrate this PDF with respect to x from minus infinity to x. Now similarly, if we want to find the distribution function of the random variable y, then we have already found the marginal PDF, which is now nothing but a PDF of one dimensional variable y. So if we want to find the corresponding distribution function, then as we have discussed in one dimensional distribution, that we have to integrate the PDF with respect to y from minus infinity to y. Now alternatively, we can directly find the marginal distribution function from the joint distribution function by this formula. Now here we replace minus infinity to x. Now what is the value of fxx? Now this is the marginal PDF. So here we just replace fxx by this integrand. So it is minus to plus infinity fxy dy. Similarly, if we replace fyy from this equation in this integral, then fyy becomes this double integral with respect to x and y, where the limit of x is from minus to plus infinity and limit of y is from minus infinity to y. Now we have assumed that the change of order of integration is valid here. If the joint PDF is known, then we can easily find the marginal distribution function by integrating the joint PDF with respect to x and y. Now as per example, if we want to find the marginal distribution function with respect to x, then we have to integrate the joint PDF with respect to y from minus infinity to plus infinity, and with respect to x from minus infinity to x. But if we want to calculate the marginal distribution function with respect to random variable y, then we have to integrate fxy, the joint PDF, with respect to x from minus infinity to plus infinity, and with respect to y from minus infinity to y. Now we just consider the definition of joint distribution function. Now this is our joint distribution function. So this is equal to the integration of the joint PDF with respect to x and y from minus infinitive to x and y from minus infinitive to y. If we replace x tends to infinitive in this limit, then this becomes the marginal distribution function with respect to y. And if we put y tends to plus infinitive in the limit, then it becomes the marginal distribution function with respect to x. So this can be written as the joint distribution function of x and y at x comma plus infinitive. And similarly, fyy, the marginal distribution function with respect to y, can be found by replacing x tends to plus infinitive in the joint distribution function. So to obtain the marginal distribution function, we have three options. If first one is, if we know the marginal PDF of x, then we can find the marginal distribution function by integrating the marginal PDF. If we know the joint PDF, then we can easily find the marginal distribution function by integrating joint PDF. And if we know the joint distribution function, then also we can find the marginal distribution function by replacing just either x tends to infinity or y tends to infinity. Now in two-dimensional discrete distribution, we have already discussed about independent random variables. Now in continuous distribution, two random variables x and y are called independent if their joint distribution function can be expressed as a product of their marginal distribution functions, or if the joint PDF can be expressed as the product of the marginal PDF. So if these two random variables x and y satisfy at least one of these two conditions, then the random variables are called independent. Next, we consider some important distributions in two-dimensional continuous distribution. First one is the uniform distribution, which is very important to solve some problems. Now in one-dimensional distribution, we know that the uniform distribution in one dimension in some interval from a to b, this is equal to fx equal to 1 by b minus a, where x varies from a to b. Now in two-dimensional distribution, we define the general form of this uniform distribution. Suppose the spectrums are nothing but the area in this interval S. So this area is denoted by capital S, and the total area has been calculated as capital R. So remember, this area is denoted by capital S, but the area of this S is equal to capital R. So the uniform distribution is like that. If we assume that the total mass is uniformly distributed in this area S, then what is the height of this surface at any point within this surface area S? So this is our question, and this height is denoted by this function fxy. If the total mass is uniformly distributed in this area, then we know that total volume is equal to 1. Now we have the area is R, and we know that volume can be found by multiplying the area by its height. Now since height is uniform, then area into height, this is equal to 1. So height is equal to 1 by area, that is 1 by r. So the uniform distribution function fxy is such that if x comma y, this point lies within this area S, then the value is 1 by r. This is nothing but the height of the surface. But if this point lies outside S, then the height is 0. This distribution is known as uniform distribution. As a particular case, we assume this area. Here x varies from a to b and y varies from c to d. Now suppose that there is a uniform layer of mass in this rectangle. So there is a uniform height in this rectangle. Now if we want to find the density function of the uniform distribution, then fxy is equal to 1 by the area of this rectangle, which is b minus a into d minus c, when the point belongs to this rectangle S, otherwise it is 0. So fxy equal to 1 by b minus a into d minus c if xy belongs to this rectangle and it is 0 otherwise. This is called uniform distribution within this rectangle. Now if we want to find the marginal distribution of x, then this is the marginal density function with respect to x. Now by the definition, this is the integration of the joint PDF from minus to plus infinity. But here we find that the range of y is from c to d. So we have to integrate from c to d with respect to y, and this is the PDF 1 by this. So after the integration, we find that this is nothing but 1 by b minus a, also if x varies from a to b. So this is our marginal PDF with respect to x. Now we can easily find that this is nothing but one dimensional uniform distribution of the random variable x, where x varies from a to b. Now similarly, one can find that the marginal density function with respect to y, fyy, this is equal to 1 by d minus c, where y varies from c to d. You can easily find this by integrating fxy with respect to x from minus to plus infinity, or actually from a to b. So we shall find this. So this is our marginal PDF with respect to y. Now it is interesting to note that if we multiply these two marginal PDFs, then fxx into fyy, this becomes 1 by b minus a into 1 by d minus c, which is nothing but the joint PDF. So in uniform distribution for this rectangle, the random variables x and y are independent. Now we end this part by considering this bivariate normal distribution. This is very important distribution. So this is the density function of this bivariate normal distribution. It is fxy equal to 1 by 2 pi sigma x sigma y into root over 1 minus rho square. It is multiplied by e to the power minus 1 by 2 into 1 minus sigma square. It is multiplied by x minus mx by sigma x whole square plus y minus my by sigma y whole square minus twice rho into x minus mx into y minus my divided by sigma x into sigma y. Now all these terms, these are over e to the power. So this distribution is known as bivariate normal distribution, where x varies from minus to plus infinity, y varies from minus to plus infinity, sigma x, sigma y, these are greater than 0, and rho varies from minus 1 to plus 1. Now remember that mx, my, sigma x, sigma y and rho, these 5 are called parameters. So out of which sigma x and sigma y are positive parameters, and rho varies from minus to plus 1. Now this distribution is bivariate normal distribution. Now from this distribution, we can find the marginal distributions of x and y. That means the marginal PDF of x and y. Now to obtain marginal PDF with respect to x, we need to integrate fxy, the joint PDF with respect to y, from minus to plus infinity. Now I have already computed this integral, so you just need to follow the steps of this integral. Now in place of x minus mx by sigma x, we have written u, because we are integrating this with respect to y, so x is constant here. So if we replace this, then the integrand becomes this u square plus this one minus this one. Now we shall replace this transformation y minus my by sigma y equal to v. So if we replace this transformation, then this integrand become this one, e to the power minus 1 by 2 1 minus sigma square. It is multiplied by u square plus v square minus 2 sigma uv. Remember, we have to integrate this with respect to v only, where u is constant with respect to v. So after some calculation, we have found that we have taken e to the power minus u square by 2 outside the integral, and this integral becomes this. Next to replace v minus sigma u divided by root over 2 into 1 minus sigma square equal to z, such that the integrand become e to the power minus z square. So if we replace this, then after some calculation, we have found that this is equal to this, integrand of e to the power minus z square dz. Now this is even function, so by the property, this will be 2 times integration from 0 to infinity. Now to convert it to that of a gamma function, we need to replace z square equal to t, such that dz equal to dt by 2 root t. So if we replace this in the integral, then the integral becomes this. The integrand is e to the power minus t to the power half. which can be written in this form. Now this is nothing but gamma half, and gamma half equal to root pi. Then after simplifying we find this is equal to 1 by root over 2 pi sigma x into e to the power minus u square by 2. Now remember, we have replaced u equal to x minus mx by sigma x. So fx, the marginal density function with respect to x, become 1 by root over 2 pi sigma x into e to the power x minus mx whole square by 2 sigma x square. Now look, this is nothing but one dimensional normal distribution. So here we find that the marginal distribution of x is nothing but one dimensional normal distribution with mean mx and variance sigma x square. Now similarly, if we compute the marginal density function with respect to y, then we find that this is nothing but fyy 1 by root over 2 pi sigma y e to the power minus y minus my whole square by 2 sigma y square. Now using the similar steps, we can easily find this function. Again, this is nothing but one dimensional normal distribution with respect to y, where mean is my and variance sigma y. So these are the marginal distributions. Now if we multiply these two marginal PDFs, then we shall find that generally fxy, the joint PDF, is not equal to the product of these marginal PDFs. So in generally, these two random variables are not independent, but particularly if rho is equal to 0, so in the joint PDF, if we put rho equal to 0, then we shall find that fxy equal to fxx into fyy. So the joint PDF is the product of the marginal PDFs. So the variables, the random variables x and y, are independent if rho is equal to 0. So remember, for bivariate normal distribution, the random variable x and y are not generally independent, but if rho is equal to 0, then these variables are independent. This rho is called correlation coefficient. We shall discuss about this correlation coefficient in some later part. With this, we complete this part. So see you in the next part. Until then, thanks for watching.